Alrighty, so today we're going to be reviewing Jinfade, who's playing Rein at 1650. The reason I chose to do this one is because I haven't actually reviewed like a lower silver match. They said they were gold on console, high gold, and then when they swapped to PC they placed in high gold, but then they dropped to low silver and they want to know what they're doing wrong. I watched the initial couple of fights and I didn't really see any big glaring issues right off the bat, so I was kind of curious to see how this goes and also listen in on comms. Um, but we'll take a look, we'll see what we can find. Alright, so right off the bat, they've got Hammond, Rein, they've got Ash, Lucio, Mercy. Alright, so right off the bat, you come out and then you kind of go hide, which I can understand because you don't want to eat up too much damage or spam, but realistically it's your job as tank to kind of let your team get through areas safely, and if they can't even leave spawn safely, you're going to have an issue. Alright, so you move up, play in your corner, take a look. You see the Bastion, who is actually distracted by your teammate here. Nice charge and pin, right? Bastion can be a problem at any rank, and so eliminating and getting rid of it early is always a good plan, especially when they're way the fuck out of position like this. Like, their whole team was in the choke, and then you were over here, and then you just saw him, went for it, got him. Beautiful. You get the kill, which is great, right? Because you don't want Bastion to be mowing down your team or setting up anywhere close. Now, in return, you get pinned, which is kind of unlucky, but at the same time, that's worthwhile because right now you're still at your spawn, right? So if you die right here, worst case scenario, you go back 100 feet. Their Bastion respawns all the way back there, so not too bad if you die here. But impressively, their Lucio boops you, and you manage to survive. Now, once you get this pack, you need to start swinging on this route. You kind of wait, and you're unlikely to win this fight, so you need to just be trying to beat the crap out of them. So then you die in here, which is kind of understandable, because they're all in here. Mercy comes in and saves you. You've gotten a pick in that their Hanzo is down now. So now you need to be... I don't know if you didn't record your comms or if you just don't comm, but for the most part, right, in comp, I'm not sure how it is down in silver. The lowest I've gone to is low gold when I was placing an alt account to work on healing, and I had a really bad placement games. But most people are receptive to communication in ranked, and what I mean by that is you don't want to micromanage everyone and be like, Ash, use your dynamite, okay, Lucio, go to speed and amp, but you just kind of want to be like, alright, let's group up, alright, I'm going in, my shield's hurt, hide, things like that, because most people will listen to comms, and even if they don't, it's not going to hurt, but at the very best, it could get everyone on the same page, which is, I think, more important than any sort of set strat you could run, because in gold, if you group up and move as a blob at the enemy, odds are you're going to win more times than you lose, and if you do it enough times, you'll win the games. So it's kind of a numbers game, right? You're not going to win every fight, you're not always going to have the best teammates, but if you play enough games and you're vocal enough and you're really trying to work as, or get your team on the same page as you, it really does help. Alright, so here, big charge, get the line, beat the crap out of them. That was beautiful. Right, so now, you can be a bit more aggro here. You're at 4 something health, 379, you still had armor. You were in your Lucio's aura. You also had the Mercy who's nearby, so you could really start just swinging on all of these people. They don't have a Rein now, so while it's good to shield, it's also good just to like beat the crap out of them. I don't feel a little safe here, which is fine. But you're moving, you're pushing into the team, that's fine. Your Ashe is back. Your Ashe does a good job of dealing with that. And so the reason I said that like you should have been swinging at the choke is because you would have had slam, and if you'd slammed right here, you would have gotten all three of them, right? But because you still didn't have slam yet, you gotta wait. If you slam the Moira, the Lucio, and the ball, and you just fire strike them and swing, they're all dead. Well, probably not the ball, but at least their healers are out of the fight. And you just killed their Bastion, so then they're 3 down. Realistically, your team should win this. But that's okay. Like none of this has been like a critical error. You know, none of this has been like, oh my god, you're feeding your brains out. It's not optimized, yeah, but so far so good. Shield damage, which is good. Unlucky that he bounced off. He decided to beat the crap out of him. That's fine. The one thing I will say is if you hear your Lucio beat dropping, you want to try to stand in line of sight. Just until you get the shields, because those extra 700 health, 600 health, really make a difference in sustaining yourself for the next fight. Alright, so you beat on the run, he backs up, he charges I don't really agree with shielding here. The Coalescence is going to go through your shield, but at the same time there's nothing you can really be swinging on, so you could honestly just solo shadow the Moira to end the Coalescence, but that's personal preference on how you want to use your shadows. Huge. So you've dropped 3 and you've lost. At this point, right, you dropped both your healers, your Tracer. I think your Diva's getting demeched as well. You want to die or leave. Ideally, just jump into the dragons and die. And that's because if you die to the dragons, or if you die to Genji's Blade, or Soldier's Tack Visor, or High Noon, things like that, that doesn't give the enemy ult charge. And so right now you're at pretty high health, but you're not going to clutch this out on your own. Because even if you do manage to slam every single person, you're not going to be able to kill them all. So at this point, you should be thinking, alright, I just dropped a whole bunch of people. I need to leave and or die, whichever you prefer. You could probably charge and make it to the choke and then just kite back, but you could also just die to dragons, whichever you prefer. Alright, so you use Bob, unfortunately, which is bad, and then they beat drop, which is good, because they just killed 3 people and demeched another, so yay that you're forcing out ults out of them and they just coalesced, which means if you get a good shatter but you don't get their healers, they're not going to be able to pump out massive healing. I don't get how you didn't collide with each other and knock down. Yeah, at this point, see, you're staggering yourself, right? Because you're going to die no matter what you do here. So you might as well die quickly and get back to your team quickly so they don't have to wait for you. Because in Silver, they're going to run in and die whether you're there or not. So ideally you want to be there to shield them. Because so far you've done a good job of like shielding while creating pressure. Alright, so you're dead. Lucio, that's pretty good. So see, like I said, because you took so long to die, your team moved up, now they got shattered, now they're going to start dying, then you're going to get up there, you're going to die, they're going to respawn, they're going to go up there, they're going to die, and you're going to strike back. Ready for more. Alright, so at this point, you should be chilling right now. You should be taking a break, wait for your team to respawn, right? Hide around the corner, don't feed this guy any ult charge. Just play it safe for a minute. I don't know what's going on with this audio. Okay, we're gonna turn down. Alright. Big pin. Holy crap. Big pin. Oh my god, dude. Nice. Really nice. That was big dig energy coming in its best form right there, okay? So now, yep, you're Lucio speed, so you're going in. No, what are you doing? You have shatter, my dude. My dude. If I was playing and I came out and I saw this, oh, big slam, right? Even if I just get these two, right? Even if I somehow manage to miss the Hanzo and Lucio, that's a 1 point right there, right? Because then you've got one of their DPS, their main heals. You just killed their Reinhardt. Boom, easy clap. Yeah, you dropped your Tracer, but 3 is less than 5. Nice pin. You get the Lucio with the Diva Bomb. So now you're just going to beat the crap out of Moira. That's fine. She blades again. Unlucky. Man, wouldn't spare this audio, I'm sorry. Alright, but you're taking it, that's fine. Okay, you beat drop the soldiers feeding. There you go. Hammond's coming to stall. Where's this Moira? Unlucky. How'd you not kill him? What? Alright, so one thing I am noticing is you're using charge a lot. As your, like, main engagement / main killing potential. Charge is good in that it one-shots most characters, but charge has its drawbacks in that it's got the long wind-up animation. It's buggy as hell. Like, you can run right through people and not pin them. And then the other thing is your team isn't getting shielded during this time. And it leaves you vulnerable to get munted, especially if they're running like Soldier Hanzo. You could eat a quick 400 damage without even realizing it. So you want to be a little bit more apprehensive of your charges and a little bit more liberal with your fire strikes until you get your shatter. See, that's the... I mean, he's going to kick the crap out of you. He's got beat and you're already pinned. So that's kind of one of the drawbacks, is if you're always charging, if you go up against a Rein who's always charging, it becomes so easy to read that and just wait for him to charge in and then just shatter his whole team. So you always want to be careful with that. Your Diva is off in La La Land. You're trying to get back quickly. Nice fire strike. No, beat up on the Rein. Oh, I like the 180, dude. This is nice. I don't... Alright, so when you shatter someone, what you should do in the ideal perfect world, right, is if they're nice and lined up like this, you fire strike through them all for a good 100 damage. You swing, and then you charge whatever's left alive, because the fire strike and 2 swings should kill all the squishies if they're close enough together, and then the charge will get them as they're getting back up, and then you pin whatever's getting back up. You probably won't kill it because it's Hammond and he had a lot of shield, and I think he'd probably still live, but he'd be so low that he'd be quick, easy to finish. So you get beat drop. Nice fire strike. You're already at 30%. So, right here, you're holding this, which is fine. Your Diva's playing a bit aggro. But right now you've got a burning soldier here, a very hurt Reinhardt here, minefields over here. So, if I were you, I would try to get a swing in on this soldier because he's probably low because he's on fire, or get some swings in on this Rein because he's going to die soon. And you kind of move in. Alright, the Rein's getting healed, so you're not going to be able to finish that. Oh, okay. You want to countercharge that because you just let him kill your Mercy for free. You have your charge up, but because you fire striked... Hold on, let's watch this again. So this is really unlucky in that your healers are playing pretty out of position. So you did the right thing and you blocked the shatter. It's just your teammates weren't behind your shield. Maybe because the soldier's back there and is kind of being ignored for some reason. But you get a good block. So you're still functioning right now after the shatter, which is really good. And then I would have saved the fire strike until I knew what the Rein was going to do. Right? Because if you charged right now instead, you both would collide and knock down, and then you'd save your Mercy. But because you fire strike, you can't get your charge off quick enough to actually kill, or to save your team, and then you charge into the mines. So, let's see, what would I say? Try to be more vocal if you can. Buy like a gaming headset with a mic. It doesn't even have to be like a super expensive gaming headset, like a $20-$30 headset if you can. And just try, this is going to be hard, but try to just talk without giving like solid directions. Like let everyone retain their freedom of will, but just say, okay, let's group up. I'm going in. I'm falling back. My shield is hurt. My shield is down. I'm going to shatter soon. Just things like that. Like you don't... I don't want this to sound mean, but you're in silver, right? So you and your teammates aren't all on the same page on what you should be doing. But from what I've seen from your gameplay, it's not too bad, honestly. Like, you could show me this without your rank and say this is low gold, and I would... Well, I probably wouldn't believe it, because that soldier kind of did whatever he wanted throughout that whole end of fight. But, I'd probably still believe it, actually. But your gameplay is pretty solid. So, I think, you know, you really love charging a bit too much. And it does two things, right? One, it makes you very predictable. Because you pretty much always use this on cooldown. And two, it makes you less dependable for your team. Because they're expecting Big Blue Rectangle Man. And instead they're getting Rocket Missile Man. So I think trying to use less charges, or if you are going to use charges, using them as short charges. And what I mean by that, hold on. Let me draw out some stuff real quick. So when you're playing, right, if you're playing Hollywood, oh no. Okay. So if you're playing Hollywood, right, you've got this choke, the big arches, right, and you've got the car here, you've got the stairs here, the little secret IT room here, and then you've got that building up here where people hang out. Your spawn is over here. This is the point, right? And then you've got cafe here, you've got that second doorway here, and then the gates. So if you're here and you're playing as Rein, what you don't want to do is go like from here, charge all the way through, and hope you get a pin against this wall, right? Instead, what you want to do is go for a pin like from here to here into the car, from here to here, right? Or even here to like here. You don't want to be using the majority of your charge. Ideally, you want this to be a quick 1-2 wham bam, right? So like if you're here, you might want to pin the enemy if they're right here, right? Where you can do a quick pin right into this wall. But you don't want to be going across the point, back behind, off into La La Land, because then your team doesn't have you. So what you want to try to do is, while still being big blue rectangle man for your team, right? If someone is out of position, like while you're pushing up, like say someone pushes around this corner and you're holding right here, you want to hit them with a charge right here, because yes, your team loses shield, but this charge takes so little time and your shield is back up that hopefully your team hasn't died that quickly. But by always going for these charges, and some of them are ambitious charges, right? You're going to end up one of two things. You're going to end up like, say this is your unit of teammates, this is their unit of teammates, right? You're going to charge all the way through. Either you're going to get someone to get a kill, which is great, but then you're here. Their whole team is there, and your support is here, right? So you're like deliberately splitting yourself off from your team and putting yourself in a 1v5, which you don't want to do. So try to work on where you're pinning. The good news is you at least got progress, which means you can full hold, or you have a little bit more wiggle room. So let's see what you guys end up running with. Junk Ash. Zarya, which is really nice for you, because it gives you a little bit more support than D.Va does. Mercy. Ooh, Mei. Okay. Lelu doesn't want to pick anything. Still doesn't want to pick anything. Okay, so you have an Anna and a Mercy. Alright. Not a bad comp, to be honest. You should be able to hold with this. Realistically. Do you win this? I swear to God if you win this. So let's look at the strengths, right? You have good. You have good heals. Right? Both Anna and Mercy give a lot of heals, which is really good. You have some support, maybe, depending on how this Zarya plays. But Zarya and Rein have good synergy. You have a Mei. Mei is great with Rein, right? And I say this not only because Mei splits off people from her team, but you can charge into those Mei walls that she makes, and you don't actually, like, so you don't end up going way in, right? So if they're here, and your team is here, and then one of the team goes through and Mei blocks them off with the wall, charge that and just murder them, right? Because the wall's going to stop you from going in way too deep, which is perfect. Alright, so then you're being a bit aggro, which is okay. But realistically, you don't want to be all the way up here. Here's a good spot, and even a little bit further back, because you want them to stay in this choke area and just eat spam from your Junkrat, and then get walled off from your Mei, because this is the perfect area for your Mei to do that. So your team's trying to get some early spam, that's fine. As long as they don't feed their brains out, but it looks like your Anna's going to do just that. Alright, you go up to save her, which is really good. You can't really afford to be dropping people here. Alright, but your Anna really should be backing up. Huge. Oh, unlucky. Okay, I'm glad you didn't charge there, because I really thought you were gonna. But your team immediately woke it up. Ideally, what should happen is if your Anna sleeps someone, you charge in, and then your Anna nades you and the target, so then it's purple, you're extra heals, so then your Anna can keep you up while you kite back to your team. Your Anna's a bit fucking ballsy, which is a problem because she's in front of your team. So already, if I were you, I would be thinking I'm not going to get a lot of heals from this Anna, because she's playing Anna like Widow, but like a stupidly ballsy Widow. Instead of I should heal my team up, she's like, I need to go kill this Zen. No, Grandma. Calm down. So they have one on point. He used his charge. He tried to get it. That's fine. Unlucky. Just, yeah, swing him. He should die soon. There you go. Alright, so go back up to the choke. Try to hold it. There you go. Alright, nice. Nice. Really nice. As you get higher and higher up the ranks, that is not your job. In Silver, I understand you won't fully trust your team, and I wouldn't either if I was you. But realistically, what should happen is that, like, the Zarya and the Junk go back to deal with whatever's behind while you make sure that they don't just walk in for free. Because if they were slightly coordinated, everyone would have rushed in while you guys were all looking at that Rein. I don't like that Fire Strike, but that's okay. I mean, realistically, you want to save that for when you see at least 2-3 people, so you can get your ult a lot quicker. But there's really only the Zarya that's peeking, so... Huge! Holy fucking shit, that was nice. Nice Fire Strike. Really nice Fire Strike. Your Fire Strike aim is like hit or miss, but when it's hit, it's really nice. Big pin. Nice. Again, itchy shift finger. Alright, so you're doing a good job. Once your shield gets to like half, you want to start calling to your team. Be like, hey, I'm going to recharge my shield. Because their Rein is going to come back into this fight with a full shield. And then they're going to be able to out-sustain you. So you want to just let your team know and be like, hey, I'm going to drop my shield to recharge it. That way they're not expecting you to save them. Alright, you drop it. No, you're recharging a little bit. Nice Fire Strike. Again, dude. Okay. Like, well, look at your Anna, dude. What is she doing? She's feeding her brains out. Why are you picking support if you're gonna play like McCree? Oh my god, dude. Are you kidding me? Don't go into save her. I'm sorry, like, it's really good that you're trying to be a team player here. But this player is fucking suicidal. You need to be calling a hotline for her instead of going to save her yourself. This is beyond your ability to save. This needs professional fucking help. Just, if, you know, it's not your responsibility. Maybe, no, it's not your responsibility at all, ever. Like, yay, they got the Zen, but now they just fucking fed their brains out. Yeah, just back up. Ooh, big sleep. Ooh, but you got woken up right away. Nice. Nice. Okay. Oh, unlucky. Shatter. Okay, so, the lower down you get, the more this happens. But when Ryan's getting handled, they tend to just be like, me big hammer man, unka, me swing hammer, unka. And this is the perfect time to fucking knock them on their ass, especially if you have Shatter. If they're gonna be this stupid and not shield, just murder their whole team. So if you, back here, right as they bob, already, I'd be debating this, shattering this bob, but since you're in a good spot, and your Mercy can fly behind you relatively quickly, leave the bob. It's just gonna shred your shield, but you can wait that out for, you've got a couple seconds, right? You're not in a do or die situation. But this guy, right? Oof. He got nanoed, so he's already like, I'm going in, right? So you go for the charge, and you guys pin each other. Fine. That works really nice because you also knock the bob further back, which gives your team a little bit more safety. Now that you're up, you just got bubbled, which is fantastic. Immediately slam that Q button right here, dude. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd hit the bob 2. Maybe, well, this one's questionable. But either way, you stop the nano Rein immediately. So already that's worth it. You'd also stop the bob. Great. You're using 2 ults to stop 1. and then your team should hopefully be able to clean up. Alright, so you're swinging. Huge pin. That was really nice though, actually. That was really nice. A little unlucky that Zen transferred right before you did it. But you made a good thing out of it. Oh, the Ash bumped you up, okay. Alright, so you're going balls. I like it. Swing on him, swing on him. There you go. You might get shattered soon. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, you didn't really need to charge there, but you love charging. But that's okay. Look at this, dude. You're already at 67 ult. Fantastic. Alright, dude. Like I said, let her die. You can't save everyone, and you can't fix stupid. If she's gonna play like a bot, she's gonna die. The fact she's still pressing W is just terrifying. Alright, let's go shatter again. You're at 45. I don't see you guys losing this. Ooh, big shatter from Rein. Oh, and big. Oh no. I jinxed you. Oh no, Junkrat. No, Junkrat. Oh man. Oh, unlucky, and then the graph. Oh man. That's some fucking heartbreak. So honestly, your Rein is not silver level. I think you're having two issues, right? One is mechanic and one is numbers. And so what I mean by this is, holy shit, that's huge. What I mean by mechanics is you're charging in a lot. You're very liberal with your charge, and you need to be the other way around. You need to be very careful with your charge, unless you're going for just short pins. But the other thing is, I think if you play like this every game, then you should be climbing, as far as I can see, because this doesn't feel like silver level Rein play. You're pretty aware. You do a good job of shielding for your team. You do a good job of making sure you're playing around your team. So you have some good awareness. No one was really tracking ults, which is why you got hit with like Shatter, Death Blossom, Grav. But I think what you honestly need to do is just play more. And so what I mean by that is, say you play 30 games a season, right? And you've got a 60% win rate. So that means 18 of your games you're winning, and 12 of your games you're losing. Which means you're only winning 6 games. And if your SR is around average, you're only going to climb about 150 SR. Now, the issue with this is assuming everything goes well and perfect. Now, the more games you play, the more it should even out. But I think right now, you kind of like, there's a lot more that goes into it. It's not just like, oh, if you play 30 games and you keep this win rate, you're going to gain 150 SR, because there's other things involved, like your mental state, right? Making sure you're not tilted, because to grind out a lot of comp, you deal with a lot of crap, especially in like silver. You know, you get disconnects, you get questionable Annas who want to play in front of their whole team and go for frags instead of heal. you get a lot of problems. And so that can lead to a lot of tilt. And when you play, when you're tilted or when you're frustrated, your win rate is going to go down because you're not going to be playing at the optimal state. So I would say just try to play more. The seasons where I have climbed the most are the ones where I play like 150, 200 games a season, as opposed to the games where I play like 40 or 50 a season. Um, but yeah, honestly, maybe I guess I would say for mechanics and like gameplay wise, I would say to be a little bit less liberal with your charging in. If you see a good chance to shatter 3 people, take it. Don't always try to wait for that perfect like 5-6 man slam. And if you can, try to start tracking ults, right? At the very least, you should know when the enemy Rein has shatter, right? And try to base that off your own, so that way you can make sure you're playing smart. And you know that, oh, he's got shatter, I'm going to try to keep my shield up as much as possible so we don't get destroyed. But all in all, not bad. I wouldn't put that at like, I wouldn't see this play and think, oh yeah, low silver. Like, honestly, you should climb. I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if you went on like a huge grind sesh, and if you played like that the whole way, you'd make it easily mid gold, if not higher. I've seen some really bad tanks. But thank you for watching, and good luck.